Hi everyone, we're going to do a hip work session today. For those of you who know my history, I had a serious accident and left me with, at the time, really severe hip and lower back issues. And I've worked really hard with it doing some of these hip work, at times that they are quite difficult to do. Of course, if it's painful or if your physiotherapist or osteopath has said to not do clams, don't do them. There's other things we can do. We can do, if I've shown you some modifications to do instead, I would encourage you to do those modifications instead. But I'm going to start off with clams. One of my favourite things to do. Love my clams. I'm going to set myself up. So I'm going to use the back of the mat to help me. Feet on the back of the mat, my backside on the back of the mat, and then I just take my hand and I slide it down the back of the mat again. And straight away I should be in a fairly good position. I want to make sure my top rib and hip are away so that my bottom waist doesn't sink into the floor, but I've just got that nice alignment through. And from there, I want to make sure the front rib and hip are connected so that I'm not arched through my lower back, but I've still got that nice neutral position. The top hip is reaching towards the ceiling. I don't want to drop it back. I don't want to lean it forward. So just have a feel as to, are you nice and aligned through? I'm going to take that inhale breath, and as I exhale, I want to lift my knee, but I'm not just lifting the knee, I'm lifting the knee, but I'm feeling that inner thigh spiral to the ceiling so that I'm trying to get that glute at the back active. And I'm going to inhale back. And exhale, lift that leg. So we're working an external rotation of the hip joint, trying to get the activation through. So if you're one of those people that I've given you modifications to do, I would go ahead and do those modifications instead. I think that's number 6. Finding that breath to help you on that exhale breath. And here's number 8. And I'm going to lift the whole leg instead this time. So the whole leg comes up. This may feel a little bit not so intense as to with the external rotations. So you'd be welcome to try this if you find clams too difficult. Again, I'm trying to keep the pelvis, my hips, everything here in the lower back nicely aligned. I'm feeling the length still through the femur though, as I lift through. And this might be where you want to keep this. So we've lessened the leverage. We're going to lengthen the leverage in a moment so that there's a bit more weight. So if you find that becomes too hard, come back to this one. I've got no idea. I'm going to say one more and say this is number 8. And I'm going to lengthen the leg long. I don't want to drop the foot, okay? So I still want my foot nice and long. For me, it feels like there's slight external rotation here. I'm going to take the inhale breath and exhale, lift that leg towards the ceiling again. And lengthen so if you usually come to one of my classes, you'll know that I usually give your leg a little pull. Imagine I'm walking around to each of you right now and giving you that little leg pull. As we lengthen, I'm really starting to feel that hip working. Reaching through the toes. And I'm going 7. I'm going to change it actually. I'm going to continue working. Here's 8. I'm going to still continue working this position, but I'm going to reach through the heel this time and lift through the heel. So I've got the foot flexed. And it does feel slightly different in the leg, in the hip. And here's 4. And you really may notice the difference. I'm really noticing the difference pushing through the heel. And 6. And 7. And 8. And I'm going to keep the foot flexed and inhale, reach the foot forward. And then extend that leg and take it back. And flex the foot. Now, as this is starting to get tired, I'm going to feel as though I want to move my hip, and I feel as though I am. So I've really got to stabilise and really find that breath pattern working here. So it might be a smaller movement. I've had to make it a little bit smaller for me. Normally I'd come up further, but I'm actually to keep stable today. I'm just making a smaller movement. It's really starting to get tired. I have no idea. I'm going to say 6. And on 7. And 8. And I've got the leg long, slightly externally rotated. I've got 5 circles, one way, 5 the other. 5, 4, 3, 2. I'm trying to snarl through it. 2, 1, and reverse it. 2, 3, 4, and 5. In the knee, bring it down. Come onto your back. If you find pretzel stretches too hard, you are welcome to go into your pigeon stretch. But I need to stretch that out. Whew. That is a little tough. Breathe through it. Better remember what I did now. Stretching through. And a lot of work. I'm going to come on up and I'm going to swap sides, but you could just roll over to the other side if you want to. Again, line myself up, feet on the back of the mat, hips on the back of the mat, slide my hand down the back of the mat, and it just that gets me straight into the right position, making sure my waist isn't dropping into the mat, but I can just slide my hand under. My front rib to hip are nicely connected so I'm not arched, and my top hip and my bottom hip are in that nice alignment. I'm going to take that inhale breath, and as I exhale, I'm going to lift the knee. Feel that inner thigh spiraling and draw it back down again. I'm still feeling that work from the right side here. It was good. And here's 4. And we're taking that 5. I might feel this one the next tomorrow. And 6. And 7. And of course, if you need to stop and have a rest, stop and have your rest. And the whole leg is going to lift. And of course, you do your modifications as I've shown you. 2. Keeping nice and stable. If you still feel stable, you could have your hand up in the air. 4. I'm just going to keep it lightly down. 5. 6. 7. Starting to feel it. 8. I'm going to lengthen the leg long, slightly externally rotated in the leg here. Imagine I'm coming around, pulling each of your legs along here like I would in our sessions and in our class. I'm going to take the inhale breath and exhale, lift the leg to the ceiling and inhale back down again. And 2. Smile through it, breathe through it. And we've got 4. 5, I'm definitely going to count this time. 6, reach through the tip of the finger, tips of the toes, from the crown of the head, getting that beautiful length. I think this is 7. And 8. And flex that foot, reach through the heel, and we're pressing up for 8. 7. 6. 5, we can do it. 4. Keep that breath, keep that connections with the abdominals. I think this is 2. If it's not, do the extra one. I can't remember 1. You know what, I'm going to do the extra one because I wasn't sure. And we're flexing the foot, and we're kicking forward, and extend it, open up through the hip. And exhale. And inhale. Now, I'm not arching my lower back, but opening the hip. So, here's 3. Lengthen the leg long, open the hip. I want that glute firing through. This is our walking pattern. We flex the foot as the hip flexes. We extend the ankle as the hip joint extends. So, my breath here. I'm inhaling to bring it forward and exhaling to take it back. And I've got no idea again, so we'll just go 3, 2, and 1. And my leg is slightly externally rotated. I've got 5 circles one way and then the other. And we're going to circle around for 5, 4, 3, 2, smile, breathe, and reverse it. 1, 2, 4, 5, bend the leg, bring the leg back down, come through onto your back or your pigeon stretch, whichever way. Take the leg, that working ankle onto the non-working knee, slide the hand through. Whew, stretch it out. This side's tighter than the other. Feels good stretch though. As we work that through. And there's your hips done. You can hold this stretch for as long as you need to. I'm going to bring the leg down, take the leg down, and I'll see you on Monday for the next session. Catch you then. Have a good week. Have a good Easter. Stay safe. Stay well. Bye.